Hello and welcome to More Math Homework Help. I am Miss Moore and tonight is More Math Homework Help. So just to remind you how it goes, every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am here to help you with your math homework or math help in general. So all week long, you have an opportunity to ask me questions, submit questions on the form. You're able to send in math topics, and then 5 of you are chosen to go live with me, and I will give you some real-time math help. Also, at the end of the show, if there are no more guests, I will take questions from the audience, from my YouTube audience. So make sure you have those math questions ready to go. All right. So without further ado, we have our first guest. And our first guest, our topic is radicals, multiplying and dividing radicals. All right. Hello, guest.
Hello.
Hi. All right. So multiplying and dividing radicals. I'm going to give you, let me give you a problem. And just tell me what you know so far about multiplying radicals. So the square root of 3 times the square root of 2. Do you know how to do that?
No.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not like teaching you something you already know. Okay. So good. So we're starting here. So just tell me, what's 3 times 2?
9.
3 times 2.
Oh, 3 times 2, 6. My fault.
Right. No, you're fine. Okay. So 3 times 2 is 6. All right. So with radicals, we can just combine them. So square root of 3 times square root of 2, we're going to put them under the same radical sign. So we're basically combining this sign with each other. Okay. And we're putting them all under the same radical sign. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you already told me 3 times 2 is 6. And that's the answer. Square root of 6. We don't have anything else to do. That's it. Okay. So let's do it again. Square root of 4 times the square root of 5. What am I going to do?
Well, 4 times 5.
So we put it all under 1. We put them together, and 4 times 5 is
20.
Good. So your answer is going to be the square root of 20. That's it. Okay. So, but what about if we have a number that does not have a radical? So we have 3 times the square root of 2. Okay. I teach my students side by side, we multiply. So the only thing that we can combine is if there was another radical. Okay. So does the 3 have a radical around it, a square root sign around it?
No.
No. Okay. So I can't combine it, but what I can do is just put them next to each other to show that we're multiplying. So side by side, we multiply. So 3 is side by side with the square root of 2. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so that would be the final answer. It seems weird, but that actually is the final answer. Okay. So let's try it again. So if I have 4 times the square root of 3, what would that answer be?
4 and then the square root of 3.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. Okay. Now, if I have 4 square root of 3 times the square root of 2. Now, remember, we can't combine the 4 with anything, but can I combine these two?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we put it all under the same square root. And what am I going to put under the square root?
6.
Good, because it's 3 times 2, right?
Yeah.
And just bring down the 4, right? And so then we combine that 3 times 2, which is 6. So the answer would be 4 square root of 6. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. So let's do number 1 that was on your paper. So we have square root of 2 times, actually, before we do this, 2, 3 minus 2. Do you know how to do, like, if it was x minus 2? Do you know how to do, like, the distributive property like that?
Yeah, don't you like multiply?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do 2 times x. How do I write that?
2x.
And 2 times minus 2?
4.
Yeah. So minus 4, right? All right. So that's good. So that's what we're about to do. So we're about to do the distributive property with this, but we're just multiplying. So we have 2 on the outside, 3 on the inside. Okay. So what am I multiplying this square root of 2 by?
3.
Okay. So it gets multiplied by everything in the parentheses. Okay. So what's on the outside is going to get multiplied by everything in the parentheses. So we're going to do square root of 2 times 3. And how do I write that?
Square root of 6, right? Or 6.
Well, does it have a square root sign on it?
Oh, no.
No. Right. So how did we do it before?
6.
Side by side, what was it? Side by side, we multiply. Okay. So we can't combine them, right? We can't put them under the same square root because this does not have a square root symbol, right? So we just put them side by side, and usually we just write the number first. So that 3 would just go first, just like that. Okay.
All right.
Minus, okay, now we're going to do the square root of 2 times 2 square root of 10. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. So what 2 things can I combine and put under the same square root sign?
Square root of 2 and then the square root of 10.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to combine the square root of 2 and the square root of 10. And what do I bring down from here that I haven't used yet?
The 2.
The 2. Excellent. So I haven't used this 2. So I'm going to bring down the 2. Okay. Still following me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's finish this up. What's 2 times 10?
20.
20. Okay. So we have 2 on the outside, 3 square root of 2 minus 2 square root of 20. Okay.
All right.
And we can leave that as is. Okay, so it seemed harder than it is because there are multiple steps, right? Before we were just doing 3 times square root of 2, and it was 3 square root of 2, right? Or we were doing, oh, do you need to write this down? Or you're good?
Oh, I'm already writing it down.
Okay, cool. So can I erase it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So before we were doing some of the easier ones, right? 3 times the square root of 2. Again, if it's in the reverse order, we still just write 3. We write that whole number in front, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right. So let's do the next one. So they're looking, the reason why this worksheet is so hard because it looks really ugly. Not even gonna lie to you. This looks ugly. So we just have to take it as 2 separate things. Okay. So there's a lot going on here, but this number outside the parentheses, remember it gets multiplied by everything in the parentheses. So let's start with this. So negative 4 square root of 7 times 4 square root of 14. So we're just going to start here. Okay. So with this, what can I combine?
The 4.
What can I combine?
The 7 and 14.
Okay. What else can I combine? So absolutely, I can combine 7 and the 14. Is there anything else I can combine? So there's nothing. Go ahead.
2 4s on the outside.
Yes. So we have a negative 4 and a 4. What's negative 4 times 4?
Negative 4 times 4.
Well, what's 4 times 4?
8. Oh,
Okay.
right. Oh, whoa, 1, 2. Wait.
It's okay.
Whoa, hold on. Dang.
4
What's
times 4.
16.
There you go. Okay. And a negative times a positive. I'm not sure how your teacher taught you, but I teach my kids Dorito Man, right? So if we have a negative and a positive, what's left over?
And they're like positive.
So look at it. Look at Dorito Man. Okay. The negatives are his eyes and the positive is his mouth, right? So let me go back. So in this problem, we used a negative. We had a negative times a positive. Okay. What's left over that I haven't circled?
The minus sign.
Good. A negative. Okay. So it would be a negative 16. Okay. Now, what's 7 times 14?
98.
Good. You did that quick. Okay. So we have square root of 98. So far, so good. All right. Now, let's take this. So plus, bring down that plus sign. Oh, actually, no. So we have a negative times a positive. Negative times a positive. Again, what was left over?
Negative.
Good. So it's going to be minus. All right. So we have 4 square root of 7 times 3 square root of 7. Okay, what can I combine?
The 2 square roots of 7.
Good. And 7 times 7?
46. Right? It's so,
Oh, sorry. I went too. Oh my gosh, I'm going too big. There we go.
Oh, 49.
Good. So what is the square root of 49?
Out.
So what times what equals 49? We have it right there.
7.
Yeah. So the square root of 49 is 7. Just 7, not square root of 7, just 7. Okay, which is pretty. We have a whole number. Wonderful. Now, what else can we combine from here? So we combine the 7s. What else can we combine?
The 4 and the 3.
Good. What is 4 times 3?
Oh. Why do I keep saying that?
Wait, what did you say? I didn't
4.
even hear you say it. So 4 times 3 is?
Yes, 12.
Yeah, you had it. Okay. So we just keep bringing it down. And what's 12 times 7?
84.
84. Good. Okay. So make sure we combine both of these now, right? So we have, let me see if I can do it smaller. Oh, where is it? There we go. Okay. So we have 84. Don't forget to bring all of this down, minus, we have that negative 16 square root of 98. Okay. And unless your teacher says simplify this is pretty much all you need to do. Okay. So make sure you have that. So I'm going to give you similar questions to this before we move on to FOIL, okay? Just so I can make sure you got this part.
All right. All right, I got everything.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you square root of 3 times 4 minus 2 square root of 3. Okay, so I want you to do that and let me know when you're finished, okay?
All right.
All right, so for those who are watching, if you have any math questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat so that once I'm finished, we can answer your math questions. So if you need math help, there's a topic you want me to go over, go ahead and put it in the chat. If I'm able to help you, I will do it. All right, let me know if you're getting stuck.
Okay.
Okay. But so far, so good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And those watching, see if you can get the right answer. So welcome to everybody that's just joining us. Make sure while you're here, you are hitting that like button and also subscribe, turn on those notifications so you know when I am live. All right, YouTube will give you that alert every Tuesday night so you can just pop right on here and watch me live. Okay? All right. Also, if you have math questions, you can drop them in the chat. Okay?
I think I got it.
Okay, tell me.
4 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 9.
Okay, good. And what's the square root of 9?
3,
Good. So 2 times 3 is what?
6.
6. So you could simplify that further. If you have a perfect square, just simplify it further and you're good. Okay? And that's your answer. And you're good to go. All right. So I want you to see that when you do like a square root of a number times itself, you end up with just that number. It's like the square roots cancel each other out. So it's just that, because you just saw that, right? It's 9 and square root of 9 is just
3.
3, right? So if it was square root of 4 times the square root of 4, you would get the square root of 16, but the square root of 16 is just
4.
Yeah. So it works with all of them. If you're multiplying a square root number by itself, it just cancels out the square root. Okay. So that's just a little trick. So when you see that, you know what to do. All right. So good. You knew exactly what to do. We just could have gone a little bit further. Tell me what you normally do here. If you have a problem like this, what would you normally do? So x minus 3 times x plus 2. Say it again.
I don't know.
Okay. So have you heard of FOIL?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, I'm not sure what your teacher uses, but I mean, you've seen it where you go like this, x times x, and then x times 2. Have you done that?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what does your teacher call it? Like factoring?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So some people say FOIL because like you multiply the first numbers, then this is your outer numbers. So you do the outer numbers, then you do the inner numbers, and then the last 2 numbers. Okay. But it's all the same thing. So if you say factoring, you're good. Okay. So we're going to do that, but with radicals down. So it's going to look ugly. I'm just warning you. It's going to look ugly, but knowing that when you have a number like square root of 11 times the square root of 11 and cancel each other out, it's going to make this really easy for you now. Okay.
All right.
So let's do it. 2 square root of 10 minus 3 square root of 2 times the square root of 10 plus 4 square root of 2. It already looks ugly. Okay, so let's take it one thing at a time. So first, let's work with this. The 2 square root of 10 times 10. What can I combine?
The 2 square roots of 10.
Okay. And that's going to become what? When I do square root of 10 times square root of 10.
That's going to be 10.
Good. And then what am I multiplying by? What's left over?
2.
2. Good. And 2 times 10 is
20.
20. All right. We're done that. Okay. Now we're going to do 2 square root of 10 times 4 square root of 2. What can I combine?
Square roots of the square roots.
Okay. So tell me the square root you see.
Square root of 10 and then square root of 2.
Good. Okay. And then what else?
The 2 and the 4.
Good. And 2 times 4 is
8.
8. Good. All right. And 10 times 2?
20.
20. All right. So far, so good. Now, let's see if I can. Let's choose a different color. All right. Now we're going to work with this one. Okay. So -3 square root of 2 times the square root of 10.
We can combine the square root of 2 and then the square root of 10.
Good, which is
20. Well, yeah,
good.
2 times 10.
And then what do I bring down that I haven't used yet?
The -3.
Good. Excellent. Almost there. You're doing great. And now the last one. Okay. So we have -3. I know there's a lot of colors. -3 square root of 2 times 4 square root of 2.
The
What can I
2
combine?
square roots of 2. That's
Becomes
going to be 2.
good. And then what?
You can do the -3 and then the 4.
Okay. And -3 times 4?
Which becomes a -2. But,
Negative. 3 times 4?
3 times 4. 12.
Good. And now we can combine these two, right? Because they're whole numbers. So what's 12 times 2?
24.
Good. Okay. Now take a look at this. Now you just broke this ugly thing right here down into something that looks prettier, right? Okay. What can I combine now?
The square roots of 20.
Okay. So now I can't combine them. So when we're adding or subtracting, I can't put them under the same thing. That only works with multiplying. Okay. And dividing. That only works in multiplying and dividing. But when you're adding, like you're combining them, you can only combine the square roots, the ones that have the same number under them, right? So it's still going to be square root of 20, but I can change this. What's 8 minus 3?
5.
5. So it's going to become 5 square root of 20. Okay. So those are done. Great. And what else can I combine?
The 8, the +8, well, 8, and then a -3.
You already did that. That was the 5.
Right.
Okay, so that's done. We did it. We're good. What else is left?
That -24.
And what else?
Um,
What else is on this line that you see?
20.
20. Okay, so we can combine 20 and -24. What's 20 plus -24? So subtract them, 24 minus 20.
4.
Good. Okay, and because it was negative, there's more negatives here than positives. It's going to be -4. Okay, plus 5 square root of 20. Okay, now if you want to simplify, I don't know if your teacher makes you do that, but give me two numbers that you can multiply to get 20.
4 times 5.
Good. So we can make this 4 times 5, and 4 is a perfect square, right? So what's the square root of 4?
2.
2. Okay. We have that 5 next to it. So what's 5 times 2?
10.
10. So we actually can go a little bit further and just make this 10 square root of 5, bring down that -4, and this is your final answer. See it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want you to try number 4. Were you able to pull it up online?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I want you to try number 4. Tell me what the last number is after the 2 square root of 15.
Um, um,
So it was 5 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 12, right? And then
you
you see that question?
said number 4. Oh, 5 square root of 6.
Mm-hmm. Let me set it up. 5. Okay, so it's in parentheses 5 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 12 times 2 square root of 15. What was after that?
It doesn't even say. Why does it not say?
Oh, is it just that?
I guess I don't know. It doesn't say anything after that.
Okay, so it just closed the parentheses?
Yes, ma'am. Unless like, it's an error or something like that.
No, that's fine. I just couldn't see because it looked like the paper cut it off, but that's all that there was.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so actually, before I give you that, let me just give you something that was similar to what you just did to make sure you're good. All right, times 5 minus 3 square root of 2 times square root of 5 plus 5 square root of 2. Okay, so I want you to try this. It's very similar to number 3, okay? And okay, so Rihanna, so we're not going to duplicate tonight, but I can help you with multiplying decimals if you do need that, okay? All right, so we're going to go on a 5-minute break, okay? My guess, I want you to still keep working and then put your answer in the chat once you have it. It might be weird to make a square root sign, but just write like square root. I'll show you. Like on the number that has a square root over it, just type in the private chat for me. All right, so I know you're ready. All right?
All right.
Okay. So we will be right back, guys. 5-minute break. All right, welcome back. So I'm going to move this up while I guess works on that. And we've had another request. How do I move this out the way? Okay, so we've had another request for ratios. Okay, so a ratio is like, you can write it three ways, right? You can write it as a fraction. So if the ratio of girls to boys is 3-2, okay, we can write it with a semicolon. We can write it in words, or we can write it as a fraction. So you're just comparing two things. So with a ratio, you're just comparing two things. You're either comparing, so we're comparing girls to boys. For every 3 girls, there are 2 boys. Okay, so that's what the basics of a ratio is. Now, if they said the ratio of girls to boys is 3-2, and 1 point over 12 over x equals 60. That's what I need help with, and 1.8. Okay, so hold on. Let me make sure I'm understanding you. So you said 12x equals 60. That's what I need help with, and 1.89 over 0.2. Okay, so 12x equals 60. That's a one-step equation. That's not ratios. And then 1.89, I see. Okay, you got the topics messed up. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we won't do 4th grade fraction word problems. Okay, can you Shadolf, can you put it on the homework form? Do you have a paper with mixed numbers? If you have a picture of some word problems, that way I can just, based on their examples, just use that. Okay, that'll help me out. All right, so one-step equations is what it looks like you want help with, right? So let's do one-step equations first, and then we'll do dividing decimals. And then we will take 4th grade fraction word problems. And my guess, whenever you have your answer to that question, just let me know and I'll bring you back up. Okay. So if you were here earlier, we said side by side, we multiply. Okay. Side by side, we multiply. So that 12 is side by side with x. Okay. So this isn't just 12x. This really says 12 times x. Because when two things are side by side, we multiply them. So it's 12 times x. Okay. So x has COVID. Yeah. Right? And it needs to be quarantined. It needs to be by itself. So who's next to x that I need to put into the safe zone, right? So the COVID zone is wherever x is, right? Here's the COVID zone. And I need to move someone to the safe zone so that x could be by itself. Who do I need to move? Who do I need to move to the safe zone? Okay, just type in the chat. And there is a delay, just a warning. The reason why I like to have guests on, because there is a delay in the chat. So you probably are writing the answer right now, and I won't get it till right now. Yes, x is a variable. All right, 12. Okay. So in order to get rid of this 12, because I got to keep them safe. I don't want them to get COVID, okay? So I got to keep them safe. So I have to get rid of the 12, and I have to get rid of multiplication. The only way to get rid of multiplication is to do the opposite. So right now, type in the chat, what is the opposite of multiplication? So right now, type in the chat, what is the opposite of multiplication? Give me the opposite. . Good. Division. So I need to move this 12 to the other side in the safe zone. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. Okay, because I have to keep it balanced. Whatever I do to the left side, I have to do to the right. You see that equal sign in the middle there? It means that what's on the left is balanced with what's on the right. So if I do one thing to the left, I have to do it to the right. All right, so 12 divided by 12 is 1. And we don't write 1x because one time anything is just itself. So he's like, we don't need to write this x. Well, let's just make it x. Okay, so we don't need to write 1 in front of the x. We just leave it as x. Okay, now 20 divided by 60 divided by 12. Write it in the chat for me. 60 divided by 12. What is it? $60 divided by 12. Type in the chat. Good. 5. Okay. And your answer is x equals 5. So why is it called a one-step equation? Because it takes one step to solve it. Okay. No, you did good. It was 5. Okay. So it takes one step to solve it. What was that one step? Divide both sides by 12. That was it. Okay. So let's try it again. Now, how can I check? Well, first, let's check our work and make sure we're right. So if we're saying x equals 5, plug it in. Instead of x, we're going to do 5. Is 12 times 5 60? Yes, it is. So I know I'm right. Let's say you messed up and you said the answer was 6, right? And you plugged it in. Instead of x, you put a 6. 12 times 6, you would have seen that's 72. That does not equal 60. It doesn't equal 60. Okay, so that's how you check your work. So let's do another one. Is it just multiplying one step, or do you want this too? Like, actually, let's make it a little bit harder. Let me know. Or do you want to keep it to the multiplication ones? And let me check my form, see if anybody else signed up. All right, I see it. I'm going to have to pull it up another way. Okay, let me know if you just want the multiplication. Okay. Okay, he's done. No problem. I hope that helped. Okay. And all right, so that was one-step multiplication. All right. The next thing was decimals, ratios. All right. So we can go ahead and go to, let me pull it up on my screen. Okay. My Google Drive. Okay. There it is. All right. I just need to pull it on it and rotate. Okay. Let's move that here. Okay. Let me take a quick break. I'm going to see if you can join me live. Okay. So I'm going to send you the link right now so you can join me live. All right. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back, guys. Oh, I see. I see it now. Okay. And subtracting fractions. Okay. We can do that. All right, so we are back, and our next guest is here. We're going to be doing subtracting fractions. Also, guest one, if you can in the chat, just let me know if you need some help, if you're stuck with the question I gave you. And I just realized I deleted it, so hopefully. Okay, I still have it there. Just kidding. All right, so here we go. All right, guest number two. Welcome, welcome.
Well, hi.
Hi. Okay, so let's do some subtracting fractions. And it looks like it's subtracting fractions with the regrouping, right? With borrowing. Right?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's like 6 1/5 minus 2 4/5, right? So they
Yes.
have the same, let me pull up my picture. So they have the same denominator. It's just that the bigger fraction is on the bottom. It's kind of like, remember with subtraction, like you might have, I don't know, 100 minus 28, right? And then, or let me see, 130. Okay, now can you do 0 minus 8?
Yes. Is wait, no.
So what do we have to do?
You have to take it away. Take 3 away.
Good. So we have to borrow from the 3, right? And then give that to the ones place, right? We have to give 10 to it. Okay, so we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to borrow. Okay, because they have the same denominator, which is great. They're making our life easy, right? So the denominator, everything stays the same denominator. We're not worried about it. But it's that numerator. Can I do 1 minus 4?
No.
No. So I'm going to have to borrow from this whole number. Okay, so I want to borrow one whole. Okay, what out of 5 equals 1 whole?
5.
5/5 equals 1 whole, right? So I'm going to borrow 1 from the 6, and I'm going to add that to the 1/5 to make it bigger. So what's 1 plus 5?
1 plus 5 is 6.
Good. Now, can I do 6 minus 4 now?
Yes.
And what's 6 minus 4?
2.
Good. And what's 5 minus 2?
5 minus 2 is 3.
You got it. And so that would be the answer. Okay, so let's try it again. So 4 1/4 minus 2 3/4. Okay, so again, let's start. We have the same denominator, so we're good. That's the least of our trouble. But can I do 1? Look at the numerator. Can I do 1 minus 3?
No.
No. So who am I going to borrow from?
4.
Good. And that 4 is going to become a
3.
good. Okay. How much did I borrow? How much did I borrow from the 4 to make it a 3?
1.
1. Okay. So it's 1 whole. How many fourths equal 1 whole?
4.
Good. So we're going to add that 1 that we borrowed from the 4. We're going to add it to the 1/4 to make it bigger. All right. What's 1 plus 4?
5.
Good. Our denominator stays the same. We don't do anything with it. Now, 5 minus 3.
2.
Good. 4 stays the same. And 3 minus 2?
1.
1. Okay? So I'm going to give you one to do to see if you're getting it. Okay? But you're doing great. Okay. So 8 and 2/9 minus 6 and 5/9. Okay. So I want you to tell me the answer. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to switch to guess one. So when you're ready, just type in the private chat ready. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So guess one. Let me just pull your question back up. We had 4 square root of 5 minus 3 square root of 2 times 5 plus, square root of 5 plus 5 square root of 2. All right, so tell me what you got as the answer.
I got -10 plus 17 square root of 10.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so 4, we're going to start with these two. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to start with. So 4 square root of 5 times the square root of 5. What can I combine?
5.
Good. And so when I combine those two 5s, it turns into
5. Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah. And 4 times 5 is
20.
good. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, so number 2 is these two, right? 4 square root of 5 times 5 square root of 2. What can I combine here?
The square root of 5 and then the square root of 2.
And that becomes
10.
good. And what's 4 times 5?
20.
Good. So far, so good. All positive numbers. All right, let's do the third one. So now we're pretty much done with that 4 square root of 5. So now here's my third one. So we're doing -3 square root of 2 times square root of 5. What can I combine?
The square root of 2 and the square root of 5.
Which is
10.
excellent. And then what do I do with that -3?
Put it down.
Good. We just bring it down. Excellent. And the last one, we have -3 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2. Okay. What can I combine here?
The 2 square roots of 2.
And that becomes
2.
And -3 times 5.
15.
Good.
15.
Say it again.
-15.
Excellent. And 15 times 2.
30.
Good. All right. So let's bring everything down. So we have 20 plus 20 square root of 10 minus 3 square root of 10 minus 30. Okay. What can I combine?
The square roots of 10.
Okay. And what's that going to become?
10. Do a square root of 10 and then 17.
Good. And what else can I combine now?
The
So
20 and the 30.
Good. And what did you get?
-10.
Okay. Is that what you had?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay! You got it. This was a hard one, right? This was complicated, but you did it. Look at all this work you did. That was so good. Good job. I'm so proud of you. That was so good. Did you think you'd be able to do this?
Nah.
You did it though. I'm so proud of you. Okay. So now I want you to try number 4. Now it's actually similar to the first ones we were doing. So the first two, because the only thing they're trying to trick you because they put it on the opposite side. That 2 square root of 15. They put it on the right side. But if you like seeing it on the left, just go ahead and put it on the left. Okay. All right. And you can just do it like that. So I want you to go ahead and do number 4 for me, and then we'll come back and do 5 and 6. Okay. So you see this on your paper? Do you have this on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So go ahead and do that one. And then I will bring back guess number 2. All right. So just type in the chat when you're ready. But great job. I'm really proud of you. You did great. Okay. So we're a little lost. That's okay. I accidentally erased it. So can you tell me what the numbers were again? Just unmute. Guess number 2. I know it was like 2 9s.
8. 8 and 2 9s.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 and 5 9s.
Okay. So tell me where you got stuck.
After I subtracted.
Oh, okay. So walk me through how you did it.
I subtracted 8. And after I subtracted, I got 7. And I also subtracted 6. And I got 5. Wait, no. Hold up.
When you say subtracted, are you saying you borrowed and got a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do with that 1 that you borrowed?
We got lost.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So let's start here. So we always start with the fractions. Okay. So let's write it this way. Can I do 2 minus 5?
No.
No, right? It's not big enough. We need a number that's bigger than 5 for me to subtract it. So who can I borrow from?
8.
8, okay? And that's going to become what?
7.
Good. So I borrowed 1 whole. And I'm going to add it to this 2 9s to make it bigger. So what out of 9 equals 1 whole? How many 9s equal 1 whole?
9.
Good. Okay, you see that? 9 9s equals 1 whole. So I'm borrowing 1. I just borrowed 1 from the 8, and that's a 7. And I add that 1 to 2 9s to make it bigger. But because I have a fraction, I have to turn that 1 whole into a fraction. Okay, it's going to be the same. It's always going to be the same as the denominator. So when we had 1/4, remember we did 4/4 because they have to have the same denominators. Okay, so what's 2 plus 9?
It's 11.
Okay, and 11 minus 5?
6.
Good. So now our fraction is big enough. And what's on bless you. And what's our denominator?
9.
Good. And 7 minus 6?
1.
Okay.
Well, just
1 is good. All right. So tell me where you got stuck. What was the hardest part for you?
adding the fraction.
The 9/9?
Yeah, pretty much.
So without doing this problem, I just want you to tell me what you would add to it to make it bigger, okay? 2 and 1/5 minus 1 and 4/5. Okay, I can't do 1/4. So what would I add here once I borrow, right? What would I add here to make this 1/5 bigger? So I borrowed 1.
What you borrowed?
Mm-hmm. So how do I write that as a fraction? How do I write that 1 whole as a fraction?
5/5.
Good. Okay, and what's 1 plus 5?
1 plus 5 plus that?
So you're just
All
adding
right,
straight across.
all right, 6/5.
Okay, good. And now 6 minus 4 is 2, right? And that's what. So I just wanted to make sure you knew it's always going to be the same. When we write that whole, it's always going to be the same number as the denominator. But you did great. Okay, so let me give you one more and then we'll move on to word problems. Okay. So, oh, wait a minute. I didn't give you one of these. So 8 minus, let me walk you through this one because I forgot to give you this. Okay. When there's no fraction there, how many fifths is that? If there's nothing there, how many fifths is that?
1,
What number represents nothing?
0.
0. Okay. So if they do something like this, where there's no fraction right there, okay, we always like to have the same denominator. So it would just be 0 out of 5, right? It's 0. Now, can I do 0 minus 1?
No, ma'am.
So I'm going to have to
Borrow.
And what am I going to add here?
5.
5 what?
5 fifths.
Good. Okay. And then go straight across. What's my numerator?
5.
Good. And there's a 5 on the bottom. And then we would just do that. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that if there's no fraction there, it's really 0 over whatever the denominator is. Okay. Okay. So I want you to try this one. 8 and 4/9 minus 7 and 7/9. All right, go ahead. Let me know when you're ready. All right. So you got 6/9. So walk me through what you did.
So I borrowed the 8 and made it a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added 4 9s plus 9 9s
Good.
equal 13 9s. Subtracted 7 9s, and I got 6 9s for my answer.
Okay, good. You got it. Awesome. And 7 minus 7 is just 0. So yeah, 6 over 9. Okay. So now with the word problems, let me just pull it up real quick. Okay. So it's pretty much the same thing. So if they say like how many more does this person have than that person, what's remaining, that's always subtraction. Okay. I think the hardest part was the fact that they had subtraction with regrouping, right? So it says last week the office used 5 and 1/12 boxes of paper. This week they used 1 and 5/12 boxes of paper. How many more boxes did they use last week than this week? Okay, that's a subtraction problem, right? If I use 5 boxes last week, and 1 box this week, how much more was that? So 5 boxes last week, and I used 1 box this week. How much more did I use last week? What would you say? So ignore the fractions for right now. I used 5 boxes last week. So I used 5 boxes last week and 1 box this week. How much more boxes did I use last week? What would you do with these two amounts? How much more did I use?
1.
So I used this week. So last week. Okay, here, I got a better question. Okay, you have 5 Skittles. I have 1 Skittle. How much more do you have than me?
4.
4, right? What did you do to get that?
I did. I just it went in my mind, and I just like 1 plus 4 equals 5. So
Yeah, or you could go the reverse, like 5 minus 1, right? Equals 4. Okay, because if it was like you had 15 Skittles and I had 9, how much more do you have than me? What would you do? Would you add or subtract?
subtract.
Yeah, we would just subtract, right? When it's a bigger number. But yeah, that's good that you can do mental math. Okay, but we're just subtracting, right? When they say how much more did you have last week than this week, we're subtracting. I think it's not the fact that it was a word problem. I think it's more so you weren't sure about the regrouping. So now that you know how to regroup and borrow, when I say regroup, I just mean borrow. Now that you know how to borrow, I want you to do this question. Because I don't think it was about the word problems. I really think it was more so the fact that you weren't sure how to do a question like this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want you to do this problem. I'm going to bring guess number 1 back, but let me know when you're ready. Okay. All right. So you said you think you got it, but you're not 100% sure. That's fine. So let's just check it out. Okay. So we had 2. And remember, I said you can write it on whichever side. It's fine. 5 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 12. All right. So go ahead. Tell me what your final answer was, and then let's work through it to see if you're right.
I got -6. Square root of -90.
Okay. And that was it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's see. So let's start with these two. And what are you combining?
The square root of 15 and square root of 6.
Okay. So that's where you got that 90 from, right?
Yes, I think so.
Or 15 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
Okay. And then what else did you combine?
I combined the 2 and the 5.
And you got
10.
good.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's do the next one. So you're taking this and you're multiplying it by all of this. So what are you combining?
The square root of 15 and the square root of 12.
Okay. What did you get? That's a huge number.
180.
Good. Okay. What else did you combine?
The 2 and the 8.
Okay, and what you get?
16.
16. All right. So now what did you do?
I subtracted um, the square root of 90 and the square root of 180.
Okay, so you can't do that. So remember, when we got to this part before, when you're adding or subtracting, the only way, so if this said 16 square root of 90, so 10 square root of 90 minus 16 square root of 90, then you can do 10 minus 16, right? But because it doesn't have a 90 on it, you can't combine those two, okay?
All right.
Okay, so you pretty much can leave it like this. You're good. Okay, if you want to factor out a 9, you can, but for the most part, you can leave it like this. Like you could break 90 down to 9 times 10, or break this down to 9 times 20 and keep going, but it's not necessary. You're good. Okay. So just, you were doing great though. Okay. So it's just if it doesn't have a 90, when you get to subtracting or adding, if it doesn't have the same square root, you can't combine them. Okay. So you're done right there. You're good. Okay. So now I want you to do this one. Now don't let the cube root fool you. It's the same exact thing. Okay. They all have a cube root, so you can put them all under the same thing. Okay. All right. So I want you to do number 5. So you're still going to multiply everything by that cube root of 4. Okay. The only thing that's changing is that instead of looking like a square root sign, it has a 3. That's it. All right. So go ahead and try number 5 and just let me know when you're ready. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you got 3 and 8/12 once. Oh, thank you. I almost forgot that I had a picture of this. I was about to say I forgot the problem. All right. So we had 5 and 1/12 minus 1 and 5/12. Okay. So, and you said 3 and 8/12. So let's check it out. So you borrowed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what did you add to the 1/12?
12.
Good. And that
And
equals
then my answer was 13/12.
excellent.
Then
Keep going.
then I subtracted 5 5/12. Then my answer was 3 8 8 wait 3 8. I don't know how to say it.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. So 3 and now say the
And
fraction.
8/12.
There you go. Yay! So how's that feeling? Is that better?
Yes.
So do you think the word problems were hard because you just really weren't sure about subtracting the mixed numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah. So let's just do one more to make sure you got it, but I think you're good. All right. So this is the last one. So what's the score? Nike sold 6 1/5 boxes of sneakers on Friday, and 4 4/5 boxes of sneakers on Saturday. How many more boxes of sneakers did Nike sell on Friday than Saturday? So when you hear how many more, what operation are you doing? Addition or subtraction?
Adding.
How many more did they sell than on? So it's not adding. If they said how much did they sell altogether, then yeah, it'll be adding. But if they're saying compare it, how much more did you do on Friday than you did on Saturday? How much more? That's a keyword for subtraction. Okay. So how many more did you sell on this date than something else when you're comparing it? That is subtraction. Okay. So if you look at your worksheet, all of it says like how many more was it on this day than that day? Or how much longer was this than that? Or how much remained on this thing, right? Remained, how much more than, how much shorter than, all of that is subtraction. Okay? You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want you to do this one. This will be the last one, but you did amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We're going to take a quick break, our last break, and then finish up with our last two guests. So it's only going to be about 3 minutes, even though it says 5. Oh, let me see. Comments. I'm here. It's your favorite. Hi. I didn't even see the comments. Can you help me with algebra? Carmen, tell me what algebra, like two-step equations, things like that, okay? All right. Yeah. Okay, so take a quick break. It's not going to be the full 5 minutes, maybe like 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so as a quick reminder, thank you all for tuning in. I loved having you here. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button while you're here, and turn on your notifications so that you know when I am live, okay? All right, so we are going to finish up with our last two guests and be on our way, okay? Okay, 1 2/5. Okay, so let me bring back, oops. Guess number 2. So you had 1 2/5. And is that correct? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, you have 6/5. Excellent. Nice job. Boop, boop, boop. Round of applause. Boop. All right. So tell me how that feels.
Good.
Good. Did you know that you were going to be able to do this tonight?
No.
Oh, well, you did it. I am so proud of you. So good job. Now I want you to teach all your friends at school because I'm sure they're confused too. Okay. Fractions is just one of those things that even in middle school, I'm teaching them this. So just keep helping. So once I help you, then you help your friends. That way everybody learns. All right. Well, I want you to have a good night. Okay. You did excellent tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Okay. And guess number 1, we were doing multiplication with the cube roots. Okay. We were here with 3 cubed root. Okay. So just tell me what you have so far and we'll kind of finish it up together.
So I put down the For the first part, I did the 2. I had 2, and then 9 square root of 24.
9. Okay, tell me where the 9 can. Oh, you don't need to. You see these things? You don't
Yeah.
have to combine them. So normally square root is like this, right? But technically there's a 2 here, even though you can't see it. But we didn't make it like 2 times 2, right? So you actually don't do anything with these 3s. It just stays a 3 in the center. Okay. But what's 4 times 6 again?
Um.
You said it.
24.
Good. Okay. And then plus, okay, what can we combine for these two?
The square root of 32
Mm-hmm.
and square root of 4.
Okay. Else?
No,
What do I do with this 5?
just bring it down.
Good. Okay. And 32 times 4?
Hold on. 128.
Good. Okay. So we have the cubed root of 128 times 5 plus 2 cubed root of 24. Okay. And you can just leave it there. Okay. So you factored it. You multiplied it as they wanted you to. And you can leave it right there. All right. So I want you to stay here. Once we're offline, I'm going to help you with that last one. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. But you did great tonight. All right. So, all right. That's a wrap on More Math Homework Help. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, I will be back next Tuesday for More Math Homework Help. If you need help, make sure you are clicking on the link to the form in the description of this video for More Math Help. You'll put your subject, your grade, what exactly you need help with, where you're struggling, what you already know about the topic, and then how I can best help you. Okay. So make sure you do that before Tuesday so I can get you on here live and make sure you are good to go, just like our guest. All right. Well, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye. All right. End broadcast.